Hello, folks, and welcome back to the 2024 PDGA Professional Masters Disc Golf World Championships. We are here in Emporia, Kansas for a PDGA Major. I'd like to thank Dynamic Discs and Gatekeeper Media for this coverage. My name is Nick Hanson. Alongside me today is Dan Brooks-Wells. Dan, how are you doing today?
Doing really good. Really excited to be back and to see some of these guys really battle it out here at Jones East.
Yeah, taking a look at our card today, we've got Joe Rovere, Eric McCabe, Jeff Faes, and Dave Feldberg. A couple of legends here. I'm excited to see them play on this Jones East course we have today. Joe with a commanding 4-stroke lead. We'll be curious to see if he can keep that up today. I know it's extremely windy, so you just don't know.
Yeah, wind is something we didn't really see yesterday, but today we're going to get a little taste of it as you must out here in Emporia. So this is hole 1. This is a par 3, 412 feet. OB on the right and OB in the water deep.
Representing Innova champion Joe Rovere.
And we saw Joe yesterday. We actually saw 3 of these guys yesterday. Joe, Eric, and David. Jeff is joining us on this lead card. And Joe yesterday just put up a ridiculous performance, and he had an eagle in there. He missed, I think, 2 putts, so he could have been 13, 14, just absolutely killing it.
So we have Eric McCabe up here next. As you can see, the wind really making that disc dance. He's going to come up a little short as well. Inside circle 2.
Here is one of my team members, Jeff Faes, or as he's known as, Phaser Beam. Everyone trying to pump a straight to hyzer shot off this tee. Gets caught up a little early. Gonna have to have like a putt approach from there.
Last but not least, the signature swing from Dave Feldberg. Also catching that early tree and going to be about a little over halfway down the fairway. Should be able to get up and down for par.
Yeah, I think these guys, to really work the disc over to the left, you really got to test that tree, to get it kind of a putt inside the circle.
Jeff with the approach there. Here's Joe's putt for birdie.
Not bad. And I did hear a rumor out there that Joe might be dealing with a shoulder injury. Not sure which one or what's going on, but something to note. And, can't get it to fall.
Dave's trying to give it the little floater there that doesn't go in. He's going to be tapping in bogey, as the rest of our players should be tapping in their par here.
Yeah, this hole, no problem getting a par. This was only birdied once on the day by Travis Powell.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very
maybe
impressive. Nice
maybe some first tee jitters, and it's windy out there.
Yeah, I think it's a rough wind here for that first hole.
Yeah. So here we are, hole 2. This is a par 3, 342 feet, OB on the left. A lot of these guys are going to opt for the play down the middle. So take a mid-range, maybe a fairway, kind of just throw straight here.
So we see Joe doing just that with what looks like a mid-range. Going to be about circle's edge, maybe just inside the circle. Eric McCabe up next.
I would assume McCabe is throwing his McCabe Truth. That would be my guess. Looks like a pretty good result there. And all these guys opt in again for that middle route. Really good shot there by Jeff. But in past years, we have seen people take the forehand on the left side and kind of spike it in. But as we saw yesterday, these guys are definitely backhand dominant.
I've even seen players throw the big spike hyzer up and over the right. Let's see. Not really a shot for most of these players. We have Joe up here first.
Just a little short. Yeah, and Joe, you know, there was a few putts from that distance that he missed yesterday. Not a lot, that's for sure. We'll see if he can keep it going. Eric, just a little low. Maybe he was dealing with a headwind and didn't want it to lift.
Yeah, this wind is going to be a factor out here today on the course. Very breezy already, as you can see. And already even affecting our players here with not only tee shots, but it looked like a putt there for Eric.
Here's Feldberg for his birdie. Good putt there. And these ones that are this close in this wind, you can't take these for granted. Any nose angle mishap and the disc can just sail on you.
Yeah, as we saw Joe maybe looking for some dirt or something to wipe his hand on. Wanted to make sure he got that clean release, but gets it to go either way. Moving on to hole 3.
Here at hole 3, this is a par 3, 300 feet. Not a lot of trouble. Kind of a stock shot.
Very stock, as you see that one hyzer the entire way, getting pretty close to bullseye there. I would expect all of our players to birdie this hole as one of the easier holes on the course.
Yeah, this is definitely one you're counting on. That's for sure. What are you throwing for your stock shot? That's just like pure 300-foot stock hyzer. What's your go-to?
Probably at this distance, I would probably throw a Draco. So, you know, that 9-10 fairway overstable disc.
Yeah.
So Eric McCabe up. Oh,
Ooh.
giving it a run. Joe finding himself at similar distance to the last hole. Oh, and he gets that one dead center. Getting
Very
on
nice.
the board, first birdie of the round.
Yeah, he had some strokes. You know, he's still got strokes to play with, but there's a lot of guys looking to chase you down quickly, so got to stay on that streak. And as you can see, Jeff here just got the last 2.
Yeah, it's a little early, I would say, to be talking about that anyways with, what do we got, 3 more rounds after this. There's going to be a lot of golf to be had.
That is true. I would say it's always in the back of some players' minds, you know. I dropped one, but you're absolutely right. Probably shouldn't be thinking about it.
The dynamic disc jury. Man, this thing's good. I love using it for my putter up shots or even just throwing it off the tee too. Real nice. I like spinning it for deep circle 2 putts as well. When the wind comes out, whether it's putting or throwing, it's just very reliable and I can trust it. And you know, it's even pretty solid for some little forehand turnover shots too. This thing's money. As soon as I got it, immediately made the bag. You should definitely try one out too, and you can find one at dynamicdisc.com.
Visit quirkygoodies.com today. We have over 100 fun, unique disc golf tees along with hats, stickers, metal wall art, and much more. Use code PDGA20 for 20% off.
Here we are at hole 4. This is a par 4, 701 feet. Got to play a shot to this landing zone and then driving it through these trees up into this green. So this tee shot is really all about placement. You want to get a little bit of distance, but if you get too much, you're going to cut yourself off. And there is a Mando that they need to be to the left of. It's one of those trees there that Jeff does stay to the left of. And if you do not achieve that, there is a drop zone.
I would say this is one of the better holes on the front 9 here. Like you said, really demanding a placement shot of the tee, so you have the ability to go for the green through that gap.
Yeah, I really like the use of this space. It's that golf play, right? It takes 2 shots. It takes 2 good shots to get the birdie.
As Joe throws a big one out there. He might be a little too far left though, but we'll still have a backhand hyzer. Eric McCabe up now.
Yep. Very similar shots. This is really where the money's made here, though. Faes able to get that one up and inside. I'd say 25 feet.
Yeah, it's a great look for birdie on this hole with the wind today. Mac just a little short, it looked like, but scooting up there around circle's edge. Feldberg unable to navigate, catching the gap, and gonna leave himself about 120, maybe more, to the basket.
Yeah, not too bad of a result though. I've seen that hit and drop, and even Rovere gets a little lucky through there. You know, you've seen some bad kicks and drops in that ravine. Easy does it by Feldberg.
Oh, wow. Joe giving it a bid from deep, hitting top rim, but not able to convert. He's been close today, but it's nothing like we saw yesterday early.
No.
No.
Oh, man.
And that one absolutely just crawled out the back. That should have stuck all day.
Yeah, it's just one of those you don't think about. You try not to think about. Good putt, move on. It sucks, but nothing you can do.
Eric able to come up with the birdie. The rest of our card will card pars.
And here we go to hole 5. This is a par 3, 291 feet. This is a island green, so if you do not hit the island, you go to a drop zone. Now, you can choose to lay up, but I don't imagine a lot of people will. Nice. And this landing zone, like what is inside that built up structure, are like rubber pieces, so you're not going to get any skips out of there. So if you land in there, you're gonna stick in there.
Yeah, the odds are you definitely stay. It's kind of like I feel like this is like a 2 or a 4 for these guys. If you're either making the island and making your putt, or you're missing and you're, as we see Dave here, he's going to go to the drop zone, unfortunately.
So like you'd think that, but the drop zone is runnable, and I've seen people run it, miss it, run it, make it, and we get all sorts of scores. But very nice shot by Rovere. We're gonna see what Dave decides to do here. Get down.
That's actually a much more feasible drop zone than I remember. So you are correct. He's way more chance to run that one.
These look like little cleanups, but again, that wind is always in the back of your mind.
Yeah, especially on these elevated baskets, I usually take another extra second or two to make sure I have my correct angle I want out of the hand.
Yeah, and you were pretty much right on stats for this one as far as birdie or bogey. There was 34% of the field birdied it and 57% bogeyed it, so there weren't that many pars. After that hole, we're going over here to hole 6. This is a par 3, 336 feet. Also somewhat of a stock shot for these guys. 330 hyzer. Ooh, scaring the basket a little bit.
Giving it a bid.
Yeah, he is gonna pay for it. He's gonna find himself, I believe, just outside the circle.
Yeah, with this course, there's some holes that are really difficult that you want to make sure you get your par, but go for birdie if you can. But then there's holes like this one and, you know, hole 3 that you got to make sure you're getting your birdie so, you know, you're not losing strokes to the field here.
Joe is asking for it to get down.
Not bad.
Yeah, putt inside the circle's good.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be much further away when he was asking for it to get down like that.
Well, according to yesterday, Joe, you know, Rovere's used to park and stuff, so 25 feet to the left is no good.
Yeah, that might be a tester putt for him some days.
So here's Faes. Looks like circle's edge, maybe just outside. Sails it a little bit.
I think that tree gave Eric just enough trouble that he had to adjust his putt, missing low. So we have Joe here for his birdie. And just shy.
Yeah. See if Dave can find the chains on this one. And the putting green giving our competitors a little bit of trouble today. You can see the grass. He's got a pretty stiff tailwind, it looked like.
So typically, what's that going to do for a putter like him?
I mean, most tailwinds are going to drop your putt, so, you know, and the headwind's going to lift it, or if you get a good level spinner, it'll keep it in the air for a while. You either got to put it harder or put a little higher in that tailwind.
I agree with that. It's tough, though, to think about it sometimes. You know, there's a lot of things you got to think about between, is it more right to left? Is it a direct tail? Like, a lot of science goes into it when you get to this level.
Absolutely. And go study up if you want to learn those winds.
Nobody is immune to a course like Northwood Black.
Just throwing laser beams.
That's so good.
Bresnell, the birdie, the fist pump.
Critical shot.
Gotta get up. Bresnell.
That is a shot of a champion.
Your 2024 Champions Cup winner, Andrew Bresnell.
Hole 7, par 4, 539 feet. Teeing from an elevated pad, getting to that landing zone, and then dealing with these trees on your upshot. So there is going to be OB on the right side in the form of a little pond, or I shouldn't say little, of a big pond. McCabe showing you the sky and hyzer route. See where this one ends up.
Oh, wow.
Pretty good.
That was high. Didn't hit
Yeah.
that. Maybe had a chance. I was kind of wondering when we were looking over this whole preview if anybody was like trying to get up there for, you know, 80-footer or maybe even closer, depending on their power.
Yeah, potentially. I think McCabe had the route to do it. That hyzer, I think, is more common, but
Joe opting for that turnover as well. His disc looks to be fading out quite a bit early. He's going to be out of bounds.
Oh, he finds some OB over there.
Wow.
They're saying safe. We think OB. Did it land on a house? Because those are OB. Maybe.
Yeah, looks like he must be out of bounds over there.
Well, all these guys are left with 200 to maybe 230 into the pin. And McCabe's left with less than that.
Yeah, I would have loved to see that one finish. Give him the eagle look, see if he can't drop one in from deep. So we have Jeff here, longest drive going with the hyzer.
Here's a good shot by Faes. Give himself a look back down at the basket.
Oh, and as you see there, that putt just, that nose got up barely and just lifted over the basket and kept on going.
Oh no. Yeah, today is just so important to get these up shots within 20 feet, I would say. These putts become much more challenging outside of that.
Do you ever, when it gets too windy, switch it up, change maybe the type of disc you're putting with, maybe move to a more stable approach disc or anything like that?
Every now and again, but you want to know something I've been working with this year that I've really liked, and I've seen Raven Newsom do it and Joel Freeman, is putt upside down in a headwind.
Yep.
And it works tremendously.
Yep. Basically, you're spinning it, right?
It's a spin putt. Yeah, I'm putting it like I would regularly. I'm just putting it maybe a little harder, maybe tiny bit higher, and I just trust that it's going to fall.
Yep.
But there was a good putt by Rovere. Nice nose down putt. And here's Faes for his bird. Well done. So have you done much of the upside down putting, or do you like switching to something more overstable?
So I've done both. Since I push putt mainly, I prefer switching to like a Toro, but I have in previous years and still currently occasionally do putt upside down. The one thing I do is I keep it up and hyzer, so that way it has a little more time to fall instead of dropping right away. But other than that, very similar tactic to you.
I see. Very cool. Give it a try out there, guys. This is hole 8. This is a par 3, 360 feet. OB on the left and some OB on the right. That doesn't really come into play, but this road certainly does. Oh.
Tough little lie there.
Interesting. McCabe putting a move on this one. This is slightly uphill, so you do have to rip it. That one looked
like it hit that tree and dropped right in the circles, so he should be looking good with that one. Dave looks like he's turned his over a little bit, but coming back, catching that same tree McCabe did, and looks like dropping about circle's edge.
This looks turned.
Yep. Yep, that was unintentional, throwing it, maybe 80 feet past the basket.
Yeah. Yeah, something went off there.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, but if you could just throw them in. Oh, it was so close.
Can't believe it.
Okay.
There we go, Jeff.
Jeff's on a little streak here. Very cool. And that will put Jeff at 5 down through 8 holes.
Dang, what a heater. It's a good start on a day like today. It's going to tie it up with Joe, and just like that, that lead we talked about earlier is no more.
It's gone, and you know what? Former world champ Eric McCabe is only 1 stroke behind them. So, a lot of heavy hitters here at the top.
Yeah, a little momentum swing too, maybe here, you know. Some confidence with these win putts, whereas Joe's, you know, very close but not making them.
Yeah.
It's another one of my favorites here, hole 9 though.
Yeah, this is a very tight green, hole 9. This is the par 3, 375 OB on the left side. Faes seems to get over on this way too much.
Yeah, that didn't look like it really ever had a chance to come out.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you put the nose in the wrong direction. Oh, and it's doing it to McCabe's too. This wind is just pushing him.
Yeah, this wind is no joke today. It looks like they've maybe got a left to right headwind here. If you don't have that angle perfect, it's going to rip your disc over.
It looks like Feldberg corrected on it, but he just couldn't get the distance up that hill. He will have a C2 putt though.
Joe's ripped one, but that looks to be fading out. And he's going to be on the other side of those trees there. And
Oh man.
similar to a shot like this.
Oh no.
Uh,
From one tree to the next.
yeah, it's never good. So we have Feldberg here just kind of pitching up and around. Going to be able to get up and down for his 3. So we see Joe from maybe even has a look here through the gap.
Wow, that was close. He's got that nose down that just drops the disc when he wants it to. Cade giving that a good bid. And here's what Jeff is left with. Not great.
No, oh man. And just pitching up a absolute spike hyzer with a putt is never a good situation.
Yeah, and look at this. How often do you have this where you're 15 feet and oh no. And these limbs get the best of him.
Just enough to bother him where it raises that putt into the band. He's going to be walking away with a bogey. That's an unfortunate bogey there from being only about 50 feet from the basket off the drive. So you see Eric tapped in as well there.
And they're still trying to figure out Faes' lie.
Oh,
No.
wow.
And there's 2 strokes.
We have quite the shakeup here on hole 9, Dan.
I'll tell you what, man.
Wow. You guys are not going to want to miss the back 9 after a card with a card like this. Definitely come back for the back. Eric, though, out to a good start, 4 down here. That's going to be pretty good on a day like today as we check out the leaderboard. A tie at the top going into that back 9. And look at that, 9 under par there.
Whew, that is hot. Doesn't get much better than that.
It sure doesn't. I'm excited for it. The back 9 is a little longer, so, you know, hopefully we'll see these players stretch the disc out. But with that wind, it could be pretty tricky. So for Dan, I'm Nick. We'll catch you on the back 9.